Alright, you guys. So in this video, we're gonna learn about cats, and we're gonna learn about nutrition. Okay, there's always something we can learn from these internets, and so the cats, dementia, and all the other little health elements they get that are similar to humans. So we're gonna go ahead and learn something. I got two videos I want to show y'all about, and then we're gonna talk about it. And as y'all can see, we went ahead and upgraded. We got a projector screen. So off to the side, I got the light cut off. I'm also going to cut this light off so we can see this a lot better. And then if I got to come back on the camera, I'll just turn this light back on. Yep, that's how we'll go ahead and work this. And I got the laptop in the back to do the controls. As y'all see. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this light off, and we're going to go ahead and watch this video, and then we're gonna go ahead and learn something. If y'all got any questions, y'all know where to put them. Go ahead and put them down in the comment section. Y'all also know what my email is. Go ahead and go to my Linktree link. You can also contact me there. Y'all know I ain't like everybody, all these other people on YouTube. They act like they more busy than Jesus. So y'all know y'all can contact me. Y'all know where to put y'all questions. And y'all know where to get the course at. The last damn guide to weight management. But we're going to be giving a lot of the information here. The course is just to make sure everything is in a concise, one-stop shop type of situation. So you can always go back to it. But y'all know we also got the information all over this YouTube channel. So let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, let me go ahead and hit the play button.
Cats can party before they pass on.
Yeah, and if I don't, it's wonderful stuff.
A lot of them suffer from dementia.
But that's why we're here.
I'm Bruce.
I'm Terry.
We're about 73 years old.
Right. And we run a retirement facility for senior cats. We only accept cats 10 years old and older.
Caring for older pets, they don't understand what's happening to them.
Turn to find something minor can take them out.
But I created all these different areas to get stimulation.
Come on, Caesar, get it! Oh.
The secret to cat's happiness is have a place where they can be alone.
When it's time. There's an ending, but we're still here.
We spread their ashes in the garden. These older, loving creatures still have a lot of love left in them.
So, just love them.
Okay, so y'all can see how they was looking. I'm going to actually go ahead and cut this back on. And I'm going to go ahead and talk over it now. I just wanted y'all to see it. And we're going to do this play by play.
What's your name? What's your name? Your badge number?
Ramos.
What's your name? Your badge number?
Spinola.
Where they pass on.
Yeah, and if I don't, it's wonderful stuff.
A lot of them suffer from dementia.
Alright, so did y'all just see that right there? So they don't perceive the same way that they used to when they was kittens. Alright, now that cat on the right, it didn't do nothing to him. So that's one of the ways that you can tell, you know, you might have a cat that's starting to lose its cognitive ability. Okay, because they can't talk, they don't speak English, they don't speak Spanglish, or any of the human languages. So you got to go off the behavior. If you had a cat that's older, just like the ones they talking about in this video, you also you're gonna know their whole routine and everything. So whenever you see something that's off with them, they swatting at the wall, they swatting at a fly, but you don't see no flies, they just swatting at imaginary things. You know what I'm saying? You may have a cat that's, you know, having them type of issues.
But that's why we're here.
I'm Bruce.
I'm Terry.
We're about 73 years old.
Right.
Wait, stop it. Go back. I want to show y'all something. Because this is one of the reasons right here. Okay. Bam. Right there. Y'all take a good look at that. because that's why this is happening. Look at this. Now y'all heard it shake, and it sounded crunchy and everything. Okay, that is cat kibble. Okay, so that's cat kibble. When I was in school, now I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all a story. When I was in school, we was learning about the digestive system and how the system is set up within a cat. Okay, they set up just like a lion, just like a tiger, just like a jaguar, just like a leopard. This over when we was learning about this in school, in the text, in the literature, they said cats were obligate carnivores. Okay, obligate meaning pretty much only carnivore meat. All right, so they are supposed to be eating just like them lions, just like them tigers. That's why them tigers and lions they so strong. Okay, and they very resilient to all these diseases that we see when they're domesticated. Okay, and they start getting diseases like us. So when you start feeding cats like this dry kibble stuff, look at the back of the ingredients of whatever you feeding your cats. Okay, and this is we also gonna tie this into yourself. Okay, cause the FDA and all them they know what they doing. All right, they know y'all don't read the nutrition labels, so they just gonna put everything that they want in there, and then put the cheapest stuff so they can make a profit. Cause all this a business, and this is why they run it this way. They don't really care about the health, only in some aspects, but just enough to make it seem like they care. So when you look at the back of these ingredients, actually, I'm not even gonna talk about it. I'm gonna show you. I can show you better than I can tell you. Hold on, we gonna be right back, and I'm gonna pull it up. All right, y'all. So I went to Purina.com. I went to the indoor dry cat food. That's what people used to always say they was feeding their cats. Okay, when they bring them into the hospital. So we got the ingredients right here. You got the minerals, and then you got the vitamins. All right. So the first thing that's on the list is that's the most uh that's in the actual product as far as percentage. So let's do it in percentages. So chicken byproduct meal is like 60%. All the other stuff is a certain percentage, but this is the biggest percentage. All right. So chicken byproduct. When they say byproduct by law, that has to mean a certain thing. All right. So byproduct means a certain thing, and then meal means a certain thing. And actually, I want to show you guys. All right. So we went to an official website. If you guys are looking for definitions, come on to this website right here. It's the AAFCO. If y'all looking for definitions when y'all reading the ingredients label on the back of y'all dog food or cat food, since we talking about cats. So we looking for byproduct meal. All right. So it says consists of ground, rendered, clean parts of the carcass of slaughtered poultry, such as necks, feet, undeveloped eggs, and intestines, what some people would call chitlins, exclusive of feathers, except in such amounts as might occur unavoidably in good processing practices. Okay, so long story short, with all this legal jargon, it basically means they grinding up a whole bunch of parts that human beings wouldn't typically eat. Okay, other than chitlins, because I know people that eat chitlins. But they grinding up all the stuff that you normally wouldn't eat and then putting it in there. Okay? Now, the best thing out of this is probably the chicken feet for the calcium aspect on the necks. Okay, but pretty much the percentages is what's important when it comes to this. Now I'm gonna show y'all what you want to see on the back. of the ingredients list. Okay, we're gonna go up. Alright, here we go. We're gonna go all the way up. Okay, this is what you're gonna see when you get here. And then let's see. Here, I can use this. Alright, this is what you want to see right here. So you want to see one word ingredients, just like the food that you eating, or you should be eating, you want to see one word ingredients. It'll say beef meat, okay, or it'll just say beef. It'll say chicken meat, all right. And the definition of this: the clean flesh derived from slaughtered mammals and limited to the part of the striated muscle. Okay, so pretty much the muscle meat. All right, they got tongue, diaphragm, heart, which is a organ. Okay, esophagus. What else you got? Portions of the skin, sinew, nerve, blood vessels, all that good stuff they normally eat. All right. Now we're gonna go back to this ingredient list. Alright, so we know cats are obligate carnivores. We got this chicken byproduct, so it's only a certain percent. It's not 100% chicken, okay, as far as meat. So this byproduct, we already read the definition. They could be throwing anything in there, talking about except of, but of, feathers, and it's just a whole bunch of legal jargon when it comes to words like this, okay. So you got that. Why the hell, can you tell me why on God's green earth, why the hell they got whole grain corn as the second ingredient in your dry cat food for your cat? And then putting the word healthy on the bag for your cat. In school, they taught us, and what they teach the veterinarians, but not too much in depth, is that cats are obligate carnivores, so they need to be eating chicken and, the bones and things, ground up, of course, and then you mix it in there. So tell me, why is it whole grain corn in there? Does this say non-GMO free? Nope. Okay. So the second largest amount of ingredient in this food for a cat that's supposed to be eating like a lion, a tiger, is corn. All right. They want you to bring your cat in and give the veterinarian money, and so you pay for the prescription health foods. Okay, that costs up the wazoo, costs a small fortune, and all this stuff here. Look at the third ingredient: soy flour. Tell me again, why the hell is soy flour in your cat's food? I used to point this stuff out to people. Okay, I used to point this stuff out to people. Talking about, oh, I'm going to get the cheap dog food. I'm going to get the cheap cat food. I'm going to get the dry food. They sitting there wondering why their cat got dementia. Okay, and got all these other little health ailments. Why does it have soy flour? Why does it have corn? Why does it have whole grain wheat? Why does it have corn gluten meal? Why the hell is there rice in your cat food? Tell me, I'm asking a question. I just want to know. Why is it all these grains that we know today with the research and the science y'all always talking about? These things cause inflammation all throughout the body in humans, and they're also causing inflammation within these cats and these dogs that we love. Okay, tell me, why is these things in here? Beef fat preserved with mixed tapafakota hua. Okay, who the hell knows what that is? But beef fat, that's good. Beef fat is good. Chicken, Chicken is what you're supposed to see right here. Mainly chicken, and then you mix up the bones and the chicken feet and all that and put that right here. So it's more chicken byproduct, bones and chitlins and all that, more of that than actual chicken meat. Okay? Come right here. Powdered cellulose. I guess that's to preserve it, okay, because it's dry food. Liver flavor, okay? So it's not liver, it's a flavor that they produced legally with this legal jargon to make it taste like liver. Just like how we have Kool-Aid that says it tastes like cherry, but it don't taste like cherry, okay? I'm going to ask you another question. Why the hell is there soybean hulls up in my cat food? Okay? Y'all know when y'all look at a coconut and you got the husk around the coconut that keeps it protected from the outer elements? That outer shell is the outer shell of the soybean. And y'all know what soybeans be doing. Y'all know what soybeans be doing? If a man eat a whole bunch of soy, he start to develop titties. Okay? So what you think that's doing to your cat? Okay, so it's messing up the cat hormonally. Calcium carbonate. That's what we use to supplement calcium. I used to use that with my my leopard gecko and my Chinese water dragon. All right, phosphoric acid helps supplement phosphorus, salt for sodium needs. Answer. We need an answer. Natural flavors. Tell me what the hell a natural flavor is, legally. That could mean anything. We already saw what this meant. They throwing more chitlins in here than actual chicken. Okay? Choline is good stuff. You can find that in eggs though. Supplement. Parsley flakes for flavor. Like your cat actually need flavor to eat a can of tuna. Potassium chloride, supplement to help with the potassium. Taurine, something very important. It's an amino acid. Amino acid makes up the building blocks of a complete protein. This is very important. Cats were dying at a particular point until they discovered that they needed to add this taurine into the dry cat food. But if they would have actually fed them their natural diet, they wouldn't be missing taurine. So it's just humans trying to play God. Okay, so vitamin E, supplement. That's all we know what that is. Zinc, these are minerals. Ferrous sulfate, I told y'all about this right here too. Manganese, copper. So we all know what that stuff is right there. Vitamins. We know what the vitamins are. Okay, so you can pretty much make out what that is. Okay, this is the other part you want to look at right here when it comes to your cat food. So you're not paying thousands and thousands of dollars in money when it comes to these veterinary bills, because it is crazy, especially when it comes to dental work. Like all the cat mouths that I have cleaned, you guys, if it would have been me doing it, I would have been a millionaire. Okay, crude protein. So this is how the percentage of protein that's in there. 30%. Okay. This we telling y'all how to read this. 9% when it comes to crude fat. Okay. Minimum. When it has this on the side, that means they don't know the particular mixture exactly, but they know for sure, without a shadow of a doubt, that it is not lower than 30%. Okay, so it's not lower than 30% protein. It could be a little higher than 30%, but it ain't finna be minimum. That's what this means legally. It means the same thing right here. Crude fiber, max, 4.7%. So that means that it's not gonna be over 4.7% fiber. Okay, it might be 1%, it might be 2%, it might be 3%, it might be 4.6%. But they letting you know without a shadow of a doubt that it ain't over 4.7. Okay? Linoleic acid, calcium. And then they just start breaking down from this point on. It's vitamins and mineral supplements. Moisture maximum 12%. That's maximum. So here. This is how you know they know what they're doing. Because we know that moisture is water. Okay, hydration. If you know you putting ingredients in here in your cat food that you so-called say is healthy for your cat, let's go back right up here. Because I just got a question. If they know whole grain corn, soy flour, whole grain wheat, corn gluten meal, and rice, in an obligate carnivore, and they only put 12% water to help put that fire out, which is what we call inflammation, this is a recipe for disaster. I'm gonna pull up wet dry food. Or wet food. I'm still thinking about this dry food, y'all. Alright, so I got a can of chicken and salmon. This is wet food. I want y'all to pay attention to these ingredients right here. And this is why I used to tell the people who was feeding exclusively dry food, dry cat food, and having a whole bunch of dental issues. The cats looking at the wall for 12 hours like they watching TV and there ain't nothing there. I used to tell them at least go ahead and switch to the wet food version. Okay? This is still Purina on Purina's website. Chicken. What did I tell you guys about chicken legally? Chicken is actually 100% chicken. Liver, not liver flavor. It's actually 100% liver. Okay? Chicken broth. When you boil down the bones, just like how we do ham hocks and all that, you boil it down. That little mixture that you get with the fat and all that from the bones is the same thing. Chicken broth. Okay, good stuff. Pork lungs. Good stuff. Salmon. Not salmon bone meal byproduct. Okay, this ain't salmon feet, bones. 100% salmon. Natural flavors, that's about the only thing we don't know what that is. But it's less ingredients that we don't know how to pronounce or none of that foolishness. We know what we're getting. We know what's going into the animal. And they're going to have a lot less veterinary, small fortune as far as your wallet issues when it comes to paying up the wazoo and dental issues, surgeries, and all these things. Okay, I'm telling y'all, some of the bills that I've seen has been over $5,000, $10,000 when it comes to these foods, just causing all of it. Okay, and some veterinarians ain't gonna tell the truth because they need that money to make that bottom line, which is what we used to have meetings about. Okay, I'm giving y'all the game. I'm giving y'all the game since I'm not in there no more. All right, minerals. We already know what this stuff is. It's just supplementing to make sure that they get their minerals. Vitamins, just supplementing to make sure that they get their vitamins. Now let's go ahead and go down to the percentages. All right, so we're down at the percentages. Crude protein, minimum, 11%. Crude fat, minimum, 6.5%. Okay, it's going to be lower than the dry food because I want y'all to pay attention to the moisture. Crude fiber, max, 1.5%. Moisture, max, 76.5%. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a recipe for success right here. The complete opposite of what we were saying on the other thing. We don't have whole grain corn. We don't have rice. We don't have whole grain wheat. We don't have things in the cat food that's going to cause inflammation and heat inside the body. And then on the other side, we're not putting moisture in there. We got plenty of moisture. Just like when they would eat an antelope, like a lion eating an antelope, there's plenty of moisture in that raw meat that it's eating. Okay, so this is replicating it as close as we can in a domesticated situation. Okay, outside of just feeding it a live rat or a live mouse, which is what uh, this 30-year veterinarian pretty much told us in the classroom. She said pretty much what she learned is pretty much to keep a cat healthy, she would just feed them mice to keep because the mice, like a whole mice, it has everything that they need. Just like how we, when we got a snake, we go ahead and feed it mice every week, every other week, just depending on the metabolism of that snake, and it keeps that snake healthy. It don't need no pills, no nothing, and it healthy, 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 healthy. Okay, so this is what you want to see. Okay, we still got taurine in here. Little amount of taurine. You don't need much when you actually feeding real stuff. Okay, so this will help cut down on all those dementia things, because what builds dementia is something that's built up to. Okay, so if you're feeding a cat that you know is supposed to eat salmon, fish, um, the lions eat antelope, but ain't no little cat doing that. So a rabbit, squirrel, something they can actually catch. If you know it's supposed to eat something like that, and you feeding a carnivore, obligate carnivore, rice, whole grain, whole corn, okay, and you know that for a fact, without a shadow of doubt, that it's not supposed to be eating that, but it's one of the major percentages of as far as ingredients in that food that makes it up, then they know what they're doing, because the FDA have passed this to put this into the cat food. Okay, and that's why you go to the veterinary hospital, and you like, damn, why does my cat need surgery just out of nowhere? It's staring at the wall for 12 hours. Okay, like the cat is watching TV. Okay, so now that we know this, we're gonna go back to this video that we was watching. Now I also got a video that I want to show y'all from a study. Okay, so that's what we're talking about right here. Look what they feeding them. We heard it crunch, right? So that means it's dry food. I'm gonna go ahead and play it back. Listen for the crunch. Listen to the crunch.
We're about 73 years old.
I'm gonna play it back. I'll wait. You
We're
heard
about
that.
73 years old.
Right? And we run a retirement facility.
No wet food. No wet food. Straight dry food. And we sitting here wondering, oh, what's causing the dementia? Some of the veterinarians already told us in school, but it's not something you can say mainstream. You'll lose your job. Okay? That's not certain. There's certain things that you can't say because it's gonna give up the game. All the other veterinarians gonna have to get up to it. Okay, which if we get up to it, we ain't gonna make as much money. Okay, we need surgeries off of y'all to make money. We need dental treatments off of y'all to make money. If we tell you the things I'm telling you in this video, we ain't gonna make money. If they eating healthy, that's why we don't get snakes that come in a lot. They just eat the one little rat or whatever. If it's a big old boa constrictor, they eat the baby pig. They good for a whole month. They got that slow metabolism. They don't got no health issues. They don't get no type of anything. Outside of, with reptiles, you got to make sure that their temperature and their humidity. But if you got those things good, they're not going to get no respiratory issues, which is the number one thing they come in for. All right?
For senior cats.
Look at him. He was just staring. Okay? Something was wrong with that cat, but y'all see what he eating.
Except cats 10 years old and older.
Caring for older pets, they don't understand what's happening to them.
Turn to find something minor can take them out.
But I created all these different areas to get stimulation.
The geese know what's up. The geese laughing at the cat. The geese eating that grass though.
Cheater, get it! Oh!
The secret to cat's happiness is have a place where they can be alone.
When it's time. There's an ending, but they're still here.
We spread their ashes in the garden. These older, loving creatures still have a lot of love left in them.
So, just love them.
Alright, so those are older cats that we just watched. And as you guys can see, just imagine how much inflammation their body has been putting up with. Okay? When y'all go to the zoo and y'all look at the tigers and the lions, are they giving them dry cat food? No. No. So why on God's green earth are we giving the cats that we have in our households and we being told by certain veterinarians that we need to give them dry food? But yet we spending thousands and thousands of dollars on dental care because they teeth. Hold on, I'm gonna show y'all how the teeth be looking. I've seen some bad. I mean halitosis. Alright, so exhibit A. Look at that. This is molars, premolars, canines. All that orange stuff you see on the cat's tooth is tartar. Okay, it's not plaque. Plaque is softer. It's the first stage of tartar. Okay. Now, you see the gum line right here? This tartar is getting up underneath that gum line. And once you clean this, these gums are going to be flappy for a while. So they're going to have to tighten. And that's why they get gingivitis. The gingivitis ain't actually... You can't really see the gingivitis. Look at this. It's gone over the gum line. Okay? So I can bet $100 million of my own money that this cat was eating dry food. Okay? And your veterinarian telling you, oh, the dry food is good. It's better than what God actually made the creature to eat, which is real food. Yeah, go ahead and buy my premium $100 little bag of prescription cat food for $100 for 32 ounces. So you can keep coming back and giving me money to clean these teeth. Because that's literally what I was doing. Okay, now I'm not the type of person to keep taking a whole bunch of people's money knowing that I can go ahead and help y'all for real. Okay? I'm not that type of person, so I didn't keep doing it. So I'm just letting y'all know what's causing this stuff. Okay? This just ain't something that just magically happens. Oh, it's just a part of nature just taking it. No. That's why when you look on Animal Planet, these teeth, their teeth looks totally different from this. It don't never get this bad. They may get a little staining, okay, because sometimes, like lions, for instance, they may eat grass whenever they feeling noxious, they having a little stomach ache, so they eat a little bit of grass because it's alkaline, so it mixes and balances out their stomach acid, and then they go ahead and vomit up what was making them nauseous, and then they right back to normal, okay? So they only got a little bit of some, some. But they don't never look like this. They don't ever look like that. Go watch Animal Planet. Pay attention. Pay attention. Just ask these questions. And you're going to notice they're going to start to slip up. We used to have a veterinarian, okay? This veterinarian was about 200 pounds overweight, okay? And I came in there one day helping, holding the dog. Okay, we talking about a dog. The dog was overweight too. And then the nice little lady, the owner of the dog, she asked a good question. I would have asked it too. She asked the veterinarian, how do I get my dog to lose weight in a safe way? Okay. I didn't want to say nothing. At that time, you know what I'm saying? My six pack was heavy and you know what I'm saying? Oh boy, cheeks, boy. Okay, I didn't say nothing though. She asked the veterinarian, so I wanted to see what the veterinarian was gonna say. Okay, keep in mind what I told y'all. The veterinarian about a clean 200 pounds overweight. All right. The veterinarian didn't go too much into the nutrition aspect because they don't really talk about that to the veterinarians. They talk about the medications. They talk about how the medications react to different parts of the body. Uh, they talk about surgery, okay, different surgical procedures and when you would want to use it, how to properly diagnose, okay. Those are the things that they are taught in depth in veterinary school. But when it comes to nutrition, even with us, they kind of stay away from that. And I think it's for a reason, so they can keep making money. This is a multi-billion-dollar industry, the pet industry. So they want to keep it that way. They know what's causing this plaque and then building up to tartar. So your nice little lovely cat that you love so much is dealing with all this pain in their mouth, and then taking your money and not telling you why it's happening. So you can keep coming back, keep coming back, keep coming back. Hold on, y'all. Okay, so let me get back to that story. So the veterinarian didn't go into the nutritional aspect or anything, or read the ingredients on the back of the bag like I told you guys. She just gave a blanket answer. Oh, just cut the calories. Do you know how many animals we told, or not animals, owners that we told that to? Did y'all see any calories on the Purina ingredients? No, no, it's not the same like ours. They go by kcal, which is kilocalories. Okay, so when the average person looks at that, they like, what the heck? I don't know how to read this. So pretty much what she was saying is, if now we did have some people they feed a chihuahua like 5 cups of dog food, dry dog food twice a day. And that chihuahua sit there and eat all 5 cups twice a day. That chihuahua, y'all know chihuahua are small. They coming in 40 pounds, looking like a tablet, just a round little, just a pudgy little thing. Okay, so we had people like that, and it's like, yeah, clearly that's why we used to ask, how much are you feeding a dog, how many cups and all that. So if it sound absurd like that, then yeah, you need to cut back. But if they're eating, which a lot of times this was the case, if they're eating a normal amount and they're still struggling with their weight, and on top of that, they're developing hot spots in their groin areas, in their axillary areas, which is the armpits, okay? If they got hair falling out, if they're itchy all the time and they're on a whole bunch of medications, the doctors tried 4 medications and ain't nothing working, okay? And the medication expensive, okay? Ain't nothing working. Dog can't lose weight. We cut it down to half a cup twice a day. The dog getting hungry now. He looking at the owner stupid, and he hungry. You know what I'm saying? Lead to stuff like this. Okay? If y'all see somebody that is still struggling with their own weight, take this advice. Do not take advice from people still struggling with their own stuff. Okay? So, when it comes to stuff like this, I'm telling you, it's very simple to stop this stuff. I'm telling you, and it all stems from the diet. Once you start giving a cat that's an obligate carnivore a whole bunch of corn, soy, wheat, and rice, and making that the main thing, it's going to start developing a whole bunch of issues. It's diseases y'all ain't never heard of that happens. Pretty rarely, but I've seen it, so it's real. Okay? This is just the tip of the iceberg, some tartar. Okay? It goes all over the system of their body. This is just something that happens in their mouth. They may get gingivitis. Then that gingivitis start bleeding. This can start to affect their heart because their mouth is so stanky and they got a heavy bacteria load. It start to travel all through the gum line and then reach the heart. And then it can get an infection within his heart. And then the heart stops. Okay? So it's a whole feedback loop system. And it's all stemming from feeding this animal something that's not designed to be eaten. So imagine a cat. We used to have a cat. That cat was 20 years old. We used to call it Tom. He used to walk like a pimp. Walk to the left. But he was walking. He was walking. He was still eating. He loved his dry food. That's what he was used to. So you always gonna have cats that can live a long time off of something like that. But imagine if they would have been eating something like what I showed, like that wet food. Man, Tom was a very very fun cat. He was a fun cat. But I got one more video I want to show you guys to go ahead and wrap this all in because there was this one doctor. He did an experiment. It was a long time ago, and I want to show you guys that. So I'll be right back. Let me pull it up. All right, you guys. So I found the video. It's old. I told you I was old, but they're gonna do an experiment with the cats.
He and his staff continued to see tuberculosis patients as well as carry on in the research avenues that had shown some usefulness. But as chronicles of history so often express, the serendipity of science take unexpected twists. A phenomenon is observed quite by accident, which boggles the perspective and redirects new levels of creative inquiry. So it was for Dr. Pottinger. While working on his father's theory that tuberculosis
And that's the
was
doctor
linked
if
to
y'all want to
adrenal
go
gland
look this up too
deficiencies,
as well.
he took on the task of standardizing adrenal extracts by using adrenalectomized cats. These were the steps required to standardize the biological extracts for later use with his tuberculosis patients. The cats chosen for the study were apparently in perfect health. They were kept in open-air pens with a yard 4 feet wide, 7 feet high, and 12 feet long. They were fed cooked meat scraps from the sanitarium, which included internal organ meats and bones, along with some additional raw milk and cod liver oil. According to all known standards, this diet provided an optimal amount of nutrients. The cats seemed healthy. The adrenalectomy technique had been proven appropriate. Nevertheless, the study suffered from an unexplainably high mortality rate. Then came that uncalculated twist of events. For some reason, many more cats were provided for the study than could ever have been fed using leftover cooked meat scraps from the sanitarium. So raw meat scraps from a nearby meatpacking plant replaced the cooked meat in the diets of certain cats. Within a very short period of time, the operative mortality rate of that group dropped significantly. The raw meat-fed animals began to survive the adrenalectomy extremely well, and they continued on in a superior quality of health.
So they removed the adrenal
Pottinger
glands
had
from these cats.
unexpectedly glimpsed a new facet of fundamental nutrition, and he was compelled to respond with a series of studies that would span the next 10 years of his medical career. To begin the study, a population of animals was selected which Pottinger aptly dubbed run-of-the-pen cats. He was not interested in physical perfection. His major concern was that his cats represent a normal sampling of animals, with the exception that cats with obvious deformities or disease were excluded. Needless to say, when people from the nearby community heard of the study, more cats were mysteriously abandoned on the Pottinger doorstep than could ever be used in the experiment. Pottinger was intrigued by what he termed heat labile factors. Or, put as an experimental question, he asked, does the cooking process somehow render food nutritionally deficient, causing eventual physiological degeneration? A basic diet was designed consisting of raw meat, viscera, bones, a small amount of raw milk, and cod liver oil.
Viscera is like
Each
chitlins.
day, this basic diet accounted for 1/3 of the total dietary intake of the animals. The remaining 2/3 of the diet was the dimension of experimental manipulation. One group of cats received raw meat or cooked meat along with the basic diet. The other group of cats were given raw milk, pasteurized milk, evaporated milk, or sweetened condensed milk. Each cat's daily diet then consisted of 1/3 of the basic diet, plus 2/3 of the prepared food which was under study. And once assigned to a specific group, the animal's diet was held constant. Although there were 2 different studies, one focusing on milk and the other on meat, the results of both studies were nearly identical. Over the next 10-year period, Pottenger observed and recorded numerous physiological changes in the experimental animals and their offspring.
So, several
First,
generations.
you will observe the raw milk animals. They move about the pen with a great deal of agility and coordination. Notice the sheen to the fur and the normal sexual interest displayed toward the male in the next pen. As would be expected, they land on their feet when thrown in the air. The pasteurized milk-fed cats, shown here, move about the pen in a manner quite different from the raw milk cats. The cat in the foreground actually developed arthritis during the experiment. They are lethargic, much like animals in a zoo. When thrown a short distance, these animals show a slightly impaired sense of coordination. Dental deterioration was also common. Note the abscesses above the molars, the reddish cast to the gums,
That means
and the
infection.
soft gingiva. With evaporated milk, there was even greater deterioration. When the study was begun, this cat was better developed than any animal shown thus far. The sweetened condensed milk-fed cats not only had their milk heat processed, but there was the addition of sugar. They are nervous animals. Again, there is marked deterioration in coordination and dental abnormalities. Notice particularly the abscesses and the purple tone to the membrane of the mouth. For a further comparison, here is another example of normal development. Notice the firm gingiva, the normal coloring tones, the beautiful broad mouth, the full jaw with obvious power. This animal happens to be a male, but the comparison is nonetheless valid. Here is another illustrative comparison. The raw milk female gets in 20 or 30 licks for every one of the pasteurized milk female, then leaps away in disgust. These were all first-generation animals, born of theoretically healthy parents, and who themselves were healthy at the beginning of the study. Disturbing as these observations might be, the impaired balance, the lack of energy, the dental deterioration, some of the most significant findings emerged as Pottenger extended his study down to the second and third generations. Almost immediately, Pottenger noticed that animals fed the raw meat diet for 2 generations appeared larger than the same generation of cooked meat cats. At 16 weeks, this second-generation raw meat cat weighs 2,000 grams, while the second-generation cooked meat animal only comes up to 1,600 grams. Compare the black kitten with this raw meat kitten. The sheen, the sparkle of the eyes, the well-developed face. Nutritional studies often look at skeletal development as a rather vital index of dietary sufficiency. This is a raw meat animal with the full, round face. A later examination of the skull showed a firmly developed zygomatic arch. The frontal sinuses were complete, and calcium content of the bones throughout the body ranged from 12 to 17% by weight.
Zygomatic
The
is like
skulls of adult
cheekbones.
cats with a long ancestry of raw food diets are surprisingly constant. Here we find the development of a second-generation cooked meat animal. The head has begun to flatten and is actually smaller than the comparable raw meat cat. The skull shows the major reasons for this change. The zygomatic arch is not completed. The nasal development is somewhat irregular, and the calcium content has fallen to 10%. Third-generation cooked meat animals show the most remarkable skeletal change. The skull is considerably smaller. It is flat with pointed features. The skull shows a poorly developed zygomatic arch. The bones are paper-thin and soft like sponge rubber. The frontal sinuses had developed in a peculiar fashion, and the calcium content of the bones had fallen to a low 3% by weight. Activity level is another index of interest. In this pen, there is an obvious difference in activity level between the raw meat animals and the cooked meat animals. One of these cooked meat kittens actually had a broken back, resulting from a failure in development. Moving into the third generation of experimental animals, the degeneration was even more pronounced. The smaller animal is a cooked meat kitten, and is actually the oldest of the three. The kitten on the left is a second-generation raw meat cat, and the one on the right is a second-generation cooked meat cat. Here is a second-generation cooked meat mother with her third-generation offspring. She has a male body configuration. Her offspring developed nasal and ocular allergies.
Y'all heard that, right?
From this same litter came an asthmatic kitten, purportedly the first to be reported in the research literature. Again, there is marked dental deterioration, abscesses, poor coloring, and gingival irritation. Pronounced exhaustion was a typical observation among the third generation of cooked meat kittens, as well as impaired coordination. This third-generation cooked meat kitten had over 24 fractures, resulting from a failure in development. And finally, this little third-generation cooked meat kitten was unable to release its claws from the hardware cloth, and probably would have died had not the assistant taken it down. At this juncture in the study, a most interesting development emerged. The cooked meat cats were unable to successfully reproduce after the third generation. Most were void of sexual interests, and those that had attempted to mate could only produce stillborn litters. On the other hand, the raw meat animals continued to reproduce healthy offspring generation after generation. The notion that specific nutritional factors in food may be destroyed by heat processing is obviously not far-fetched. Physiological deterioration down the generations is quite graphic, and according to Pottinger, the process was found to be reversible only with great difficulty. He did demonstrate that the animals could make considerable gains towards physiological normalcy, but it took 4 generations of a raw food diet before the animals regained their native structure and original level of well-being. An interesting sidelight came 6 months after the experiment's conclusion, when volunteer weeds emerged in the fallow pens. In the raw milk pens, the plants flourished. In the pasteurized milk pens, the growth was somewhat less hardy. Plants in the evaporated milk pens struggled, and the sweetened condensed milk pen speaks for itself.
Pay attention, y'all.
At a later date, navy beans were planted in the respective pens, with parallel results. What are we to make of these numerous observations? I suppose one could easily slip into pessimism when translating these findings into terms of human deficiency. However, there are certain redeeming features that should be examined. From the beginning, the dietary intake of each animal was carefully controlled. Man is rarely restricted to such a high degree because he is omnivorous. Nevertheless, the changes discovered in the Pottinger cats are comparable to many like changes in human beings. The historical work of Dr. Weston A. Price corroborates the Pottinger study by charting the graphic degeneration of primitive tribesmen as they moved from their traditions and dietary customs to the civilized world. And if it is true with human beings, as it is with cats, that nutritionally caused deterioration is passed down the generations, a sobering challenge stands before us. Throughout this study, Pottinger stressed the high degree of dietary control he imposed on his laboratory animals. This is quite an accurate accounting of the facts, with the exception of the one cooked meat cat that somehow got away. Although she did undergo obvious degeneration during her captivity, later she was able to experience a partial physiological recovery while living in the wild. And any fitting epilogue would point out that she compensated in a rather fine manner and carried on in the genteel tradition of her feline ancestry.
Planet of the Apes. All right, you guys. So I just wanted to show y'all that, just so y'all can see, like, and I'm not even gonna show my license, cause that here I'll show y'all. I'll show y'all. Okay, so here, let me come on to this side, so y'all can see it right there. That's me, Illinois Department of Financial Regulation. Here we go right here. Certified veterinary technician. Okay, status is not renewed. So that's just to show y'all, I ain't, you got people out here saying they one thing when they not. All right, y'all. So I had to put the camera on a charger so it don't die on us. But pretty much, I just wanted to show y'all that so y'all not in the dark about cats having dementia, having type 1 diabetes, type 2 diabetes, all these same ailments that they having as the humans. Okay, just like the dogs and whatever else they put into the zoo. I actually found out that with the apes, they feed them nutritional biscuits. Okay, a biscuit, a biscuit. Now, when y'all look at Animal Planet, what y'all see them eating? They just pull biscuits out of the ground. Okay, so I just wanted to show y'all that. Showed you guys the cats with the dementia, which that's neurological. Okay, y'all saw the cats in that video that we just watched. They didn't even know where they was at. They couldn't even walk straight. That's a neurological issue. So it promotes that type of environment for something like dementia to come in and just start to take over. Okay? Staring at the wall for 12 hours when there's nothing there. Okay? They probably see something. But in this realm, it ain't nothing there. Okay? So, showed you guys that. Then we went over how to read over your labels. Whatever food you buying. I don't care if it's Blue Diamond. I don't care if it's a bag like this and it costs $200 per bag like this. I don't care. Turn that bag over and I want you to read the ingredients and I want you to read the percentages that we went over. And I showed y'all where to go and get the definitions. Just don't go on any little Google article when you type in how to get the definitions. Go to the AAFCO, and go get the definitions from them. Because they the one who put the legal jargon out there. So you want to go by them. Okay? So go there and then take your expensive dog food or cat food or whatever it is. Blue Diamond even too. Because y'all say Blue Diamond is the best one. Take that and go read the definitions and then go read your bag. And you will really see how they get it over on you. There's only a few brands that's really putting it together right. And then you can go ahead and mix that with the dry food. And then you got something that you're working with. But for the most part, most of the foods that the people brought in, when I was at the veterinary clinic, they was using Purina. When it came to cats, Purina, cat chow, indoor cat formula. That's what they was using. So that's what we looked at, and we saw all the things that they was putting in there. Okay, if them cats was having all them issues after several generations, eating cooked meat and pasteurized sweet condensed milk, imagine what your cat is going through eating something their system ain't even set up to eat in the form of whole grains, soybean husk, whole grain, whole wheat, and rice. Imagine what your cat is going through. Okay, and then imagine that going on for 10 years, 15 years. You see what I'm saying? And then you looking at your cat wondering like, man, I remember Fluffy used to be like this and that, and now Fluffy's staring at the wall for 12 hours a day. Fluffy can't even sleep for more than an hour now. Fluffy got diabetes type 1 and 2. Fluffy mouth is smell like halitosis, and all the teeth fell out or had to be removed. We used to have cats come. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this video short after this. We used to have cats come in where their teeth was so bad they had to just the veterinarian. Yeah, okay. Imagine this is the tooth. This is the tooth. This big old frog, and the gum line is where the eyes are. He had to cut down the middle of the gums, create a little split, and then put a root extractor. It's like a little mini shovel. And he had to go up in there and dig that tooth out. Cut off the ligaments. Imagine how much pain that is. Cut off the ligaments that's attaching the molar. Boom, just yank it, yank it, yank it, yank it, and then it come out. Okay, that I saw that procedure so many times. I don't want y'all cats to go through that. I had to look at it several times. It's painful. There's a whole bunch of medications need to be involved. Okay, so don't let y'all cat go through that. Um, we already know how YouTube is. They probably ain't. They probably gonna stuff this down somewhere where nobody can't find it. So if you can find this, hey, go ahead and share this with somebody that got a cat and don't want to spend a small fortune on trying to fix things in their cat that this whole veterinary thing was designed to be. Okay, the veterinary medicine today, just like I showed y'all that how old that experiment was, that means that they already know what the cat needs. So they formulate it in a way that keeps them just alive enough, but sick enough where we can make some money off your cats. Okay, they formulated it that way. So stick with the wet food if you don't want to go past that point. The cat will be better off on that compared to the dry food. All right, dry food you just gonna have to. I'm gonna just be honest with you. Working in the field already, you better save up a small fortune because you're gonna need it. It's gonna be something that happens to that cat where you're gonna need to shell out a whole bunch of money. So just be prepared to pay it. All right. So on that end, y'all know where to go to for the course. We got a whole bunch of information like this in a more concise um, format, broken down bit by bit. You can click on whatever part you need to go back to. It's right there down in the Linktree link below. Just go ahead and click on it, and then boom, you have access to it. If y'all heard me say something, it's like, man, I remember Cameron said this. Man, I don't want to go look through all his thousands of videos on his YouTube channel. You can just go right to that course. Boom, it's right there, labeled and organized in an organized fashion. Okay, because sometimes I gotta go back and look at the course myself and be, oh yeah, I did say that. You know what I'm saying? So even if I gotta do it, I know you got to do it. Okay, so that's that. Y'all take care. Remember to share this with somebody because somebody gonna need this. It ain't too many people. You know what I'm saying? People gotta make their money, man. They gotta take care of their family. They gotta take care of their family, so they gonna keep telling you, hey man, keep keep feeding them that dry food so I can get some money out of it. That's how they take care of their family. You know what I'm saying? So just know what's going on is all I'm saying. So they can still make their money off the people that's still gonna, do it and not listen to this video. So they can still make money off of them, but you ain't gotta put your cat through that. Alright, so everybody's happy. Alright, y'all. Peace. So if you wanna stop getting lied to about weight loss, nutrition, anything about it, remember to hit that like button down beneath this video. Go purchase the course if you want it all in an organized fashion so you ain't gotta look all over my channel for the information. Or if you don't want to do that, go ahead and watch another video on my channel. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell.